Hey guys, this is SnackDeck8, and welcome back to Let's Play Metroid Prime. This is part 22, I believe. It has been quite some time since we've played this game, and for that I apologize. I guess, I don't know, I get caught up with Final Fantasy because that's something I haven't played a million times, like this game. But I really shouldn't be neglecting this project, and it's stupid for me too. So I felt like it was well deserved of an update, and we are, I think I've said this in the last couple episodes, but we are incredibly close to being done with this LP, so what I'm thinking is we might just finish this bad boy off today. Of course, you won't, that doesn't mean you'll see all of this in one day, but I may be doing that. So, if you are one of the people out there who is a fan of this LP, then that's good for you. So in the last episode, we kind of trekked through Magmoor Caverns, picking up all the stuff, artifacts, missiles, expansions, power-ups, what have you, along the way. There's only one thing left for us to get here in Magmoor Caverns, and it is not through this door, but I figured this is something I should show, because this area we're actually, I don't believe we'll ever be fully using in our playthrough, but it is helpful if you're playing this for the first time and you don't really know sort of a set path, or it's even helpful just if you want to do some quick backtracking. But as you can see there, we power bombed through that hallway, which is why we couldn't do this before. We had to go to Phazon Mines to get the power bombs. And speaking of Phazon Mines, there's an elevator in this room, and that is exactly where it leads. It leads to Phazon Mines West. So we don't need to go here right now. I'm going the opposite direction from our objective, but I figured I'd show this because we're really not going to see this elevator come into use. I don't think. It'd be really funny if if eventually I did end up using it in our actual like route through the end of the game. But I don't think we will. I don't believe we need to go this way. But as you can see, this hallway here is crackling with Phazon, and if we just grapple beam over that. Luckily we made that. If you miss your grapple target, you're gonna have a bad time, because that stuff hurts. But if you come out here, and I guess we'll kill this sentry turret. These things take forever to kill. This might be a new turret altogether. Yeah. That's one little complaint I have about this game. If you're going for a full scan run, which means you're scanning all of the enemies, a lot of those turrets are very hard to tell apart, and I think there's like 3 different classes of them, so I don't know, I guess if you're doing a full scan run, always make sure that you're looking out for scanning different types of turrets. But as you can see, we got this huge vertical kind of room. There's a pirate down there. Can we shoot him? Let's shoot him. Yeah, we got him. It's kind of funny. Yeah, there's this really big room. As you can see here, it's called Phazon Processing Center. And this is interesting because it's actually on the 3rd and final level of Phazon Mines. This level we have not been to yet, and we don't want to go here yet. This is sort of going to be one of our final destinations. But I guess if you were just exploring and you didn't know that we wanted to go to Phendrana Drifts next, which is where we do want to go, which is what we'll be doing in this video. If you didn't know that and you came across this, it would give you sort of a good way to explore sort of the lower levels of Phazon Mines. You can't really get very far right now, so there's really no point in us going down there, unless our objective was to waste time, which it isn't. Duh. I don't know what kind of inflection that was, or why that was warranted at all. But yeah. So, yes, in this episode we're gonna return back here very briefly to Magmoor Caverns and get one final upgrade, one of the very final, or I guess really I should rather say one of like the last really useful items in this game. We're gonna run past these guys, because I already killed them once and they came on back, and I don't like relentless Richards like they are, so we're just gonna run on. And how does that guy not freeze when you shoot him? He's literally like in the lava. I guess that might make sense why he wouldn't freeze. Doesn't really hot stuff, you would imagine it wouldn't freeze. I don't know, whatever, I don't know anything about damn physics. But yeah, we saw this in the last episode. The game is trying to get us to go here to this area, geothermal core, and for good reason too, because there is something hidden in here. So as you can see now, we got this grapple grapple point, whatever they're called. So this is new to us. It's been here all along, but we couldn't access it yet. And we kind of got to boost these little spinny things up. And I really like this puzzle. It's sort of... Ooh, yeah, we got our music. Solving puzzles in space! That's what this music's called. This is like a really like dynamic kind of puzzle. It's cool. Because like, we boost these things up, but they actually create platforms that we can jump on to the next one. I am a really big fan of this puzzle, like I just said, because I really like how it sort of uses the entire area. So we'll boost this up just a teensy bit. This one's pretty short. And I think there's a spider ball track, yeah. So we ball on up. Sort of just getting, I guess, closer to the top of this area. And see, yeah, now that we boosted that there before, now it's a platform for us to go on. And bomb here. And what now will happen? Looks like this room is even bigger as the ceiling sort of ascends. That's not something you hear often. And reveals this whole big old spider ball area. And yeah, this is one of my favorite puzzles in the game, just because, like, you'll see in a minute why I like it so much. Well, you may not be able to visibly see that, but I will explain it. I'm a really big fan of the spider ball. There are very few sort of spider ball puzzles in this game, I guess. And I think this is definitely the most memorable. I really like all the times when you have to, like, drop from one ledge to another. But what I really like... Can we... Yeah, that's interesting. I always think it's so interesting, areas that are like this, that you'd be able to stand on, but it doesn't let you unmorph. Because it's just like, they kind of expected you to like never unmorph ball here, even though it totally like wouldn't kill you or anything like that. But yeah, what I really like is this sort of like spider ball track square. You can like move freely on it, and there's very few... I think this might be the only area in the game where this kind of thing exists. And I just really like it, I don't know. I think those buggy bugs that I just destroyed over there are unique to this area, maybe. I think they're called plated parasites. And now that I mentioned it, they might be in Chozo Ruins too, but they're very rare. So again, if you're doing a full scan run or something, give them a scan. Ain't hurt nobody. Now we got some more sort of much more precarious morph ball bomb jumping and spider balling over there. And yeah, see, this is cool. Like, even you can go off the tracks here, and it's got this little like panel path, and it's like, I don't know, I just really like it. I like things in this game. I didn't know if you guys knew that. Here, I don't know why it's giving us all this stuff. We can just skip right through this. Yeah, speedrun strats. Except not, because see, look how cool, look at this cool like dynamic angle. And then like the minute you go over here, it just changes. But it's like, and then when you go back, I guess it's not there. I don't know, that's just really cool to me. I think the speedrun strat actually skips this entire room with a scan jump or something. So maybe not the most adequate or accurate term, but this puzzle is tons of fun to do the normal way, and we have done it. So what could be behind this door? It's something I'm excited for. I'm excited for behind the door. Yes, I'm excited for the door. Okay, well, that was bad. Let's grab it. Grab it with our face. What is it? Oh, it's a red. Looks like it changed the arm cannon. Yes, it is the plasma beam. Plasma beam acquired. So, this is, I think, pretty objectively the best weapon in the game, and probably most people's favorite. As you can see, it is a fire-based weapon, and it shoots really fast. It doesn't have as fast of a firing rate as the power beam does, but it travels fast, and it's much stronger. So definitely this is like your optimal strategy here, or your dominant strategy, I guess. That's a good old game design term. But it's not bad, because they give it to you so late in the game that it's like... It's still useful, especially if you're playing this again for the first time and you are like going everywhere still. It like really helps you mow through the areas, so it doesn't... Backtracking becomes less of a chore, I guess. And like you can't abuse it also, because they give it to you late. But yeah, this is the charge beam. It's sort of like a fiery burst. Really cool. We'll probably only unequip this when we have to deal with doors and the like. Maybe a couple times to use the ice beam or something. But yeah, love the plasma beam, and now that we have it, I can guess you would assume if you know anything about this game, that we're going to be able to tear up the ice-based Phendrana Drifts. And seeing as how this is the final thing for us to get here in Magmoor Caverns, we only have Phendrana Drifts and Phazon Mines left to return to get, well, that's not entirely true. But most of what we have left to get is in those two areas. And we're going to hit Phendrana first. So what we're going to be doing, actually, is I'm going to go back through this Twin Fires area, past this Talon Overworld West elevator, through here into Monitor Station, and then I'm going to head to Phendrana North, which is the first way that we can get there. That will take us to, like, the first, like, main shoreline area. We've seen that in this LP. We've seen that trip a couple times. I just made it in reverse in the last video. So I think that warrants a skip, just for progress's sake. And I just got hit by that, whatever these guys are called. They're like puff something? Not puffers. They're like some magma spore, some kind of spore, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna off-screen that trip to that elevator. I'm gonna meet you right back there, and then we're gonna start tackling Phendrana Drifts. Oh yeah. Okay, and here we are in the elevator to Phendrana Drifts North. The funny thing is, as I was talking about going here, right before I made my little jump cut, I was actually walking in the wrong direction, back towards where we started the video. So, derp. But that can happen when you're not really paying attention to where you're going. I should have known, because we literally just went through there, and I was going back through all the same stuff. But whatever, here we are in our lovely ice area, which I guess we haven't seen in quite some time. Which I'm glad we are back here, because this area is thebomb.com. And yeah, we're going to be here for quite some time. Before I sort of talk more about that, we're just going to see the destructive force of the plasma beam here in all its glory. I say, are you ready? Yeah. It kinda just obliterates them. And you'd think that, obviously that makes sense because Sheegoths are sort of ice-based enemies, but no, the plasma beam does that to most every common enemy you'll come across. Sort of just deletes them from existence. So, like, stuff like flying pirates, which is a hindrance before, really isn't going to be too much of an issue to us anymore. And as you can see, it can actually destroy these little icicle bug things that before were previously impervious to everything but missiles. So, pretty strong, especially here in this ice-based area. And the game wants to show us something, so we'll let it. Save the world, like always, by pressing Z. So, here's where the game wants us to go, which is down here, right where this handy elevator would have taken us right after getting the plasma beam. But, because we are miscreants, we're degenerates, we've decided to come here instead. Also because we want to make progress. So as you can see here in the very first area, pretty much, of Phendrana Drifts, this Phendrana Shorelines, we have a missile. It's hidden behind this sort of ice, and this was previously impossible to get without the plasma beam. So there's our first missile here in Phendrana. Like I was saying, we're going to be here for a long time, because this, I think, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm fairly certain that this is the biggest area in the game. And it definitely seems like the biggest to me. It's not the one with the most stuff. That honor definitely goes to Chozo Ruins, which has like some 20 missile expansions alone, and like a bunch of other stuff too. This area does not have that much, but it is big, and it takes a long time to get from place to place. So this is something I think we could have actually done a while ago. We blow that up with a super missile, and I think we scan this, yeah. And it'll make this little wall panel go up. As you can see, there's a little tiny bite-sized hole, and what do we do with bite-sized holes? We get in them. And yeah, there's another missile expansion up here. With another cool little camera angle, it's sort of like a bell tower kind of thing. I don't know, I always liked this. I don't know why we didn't get this one. Weren't we totally here with the power, or the super missiles? I don't know. But yeah, there's that. So, yeah, like I said, there's a lot to do here in Phendrana, and this is probably going to take a lot of our time. But it's cool. And we'll be getting a lot of, sort of, some of my favorite pickups together around in these areas. I think this is Let's see. We want... No, we don't want... We actually wanted to go right back where I just was. I'm stupid. Yeah. But as you can imagine, the plasma beam is going to be opening way... It's going to be way opening up... Is that even any kind of remote English? This beam power-up is going to be opening up a lot of stuff here in Phendrana Drifts that we couldn't do previously. Just because it's the nature of the area to be all icy and stuff. And Bombu, I'm going to run past you. And you and you. Funny thing, I never realized this before, but I was playing Super Metroid like a couple months ago or something, and I totally didn't realize that those Bombus are actually in that game too. Because they totally are, they're in the wrecked ship. And I guess I never made that connection because they like work differently, but that's interesting to me. But yeah, if you remember this room, which I'm sorry for those of you who haven't played this and were watching this LP, because it's been so inconsistent that how would you remember just by watching this. But we got this sort of... Either he's puking or he was asleep and he drooled a lot. This Chozo statue here with some ice dripping out of his mouth. And I guess there's a little bit of a indication here if you scan this. It says they're frozen in place. What we know about Chozo from the entire Metroid... You guys are really annoying. I'm gonna kill them. What we know about Chozo from like the whole Metroid series in general is that getting in their hands is generally a good thing. And this guy has hands, but we cannot get in them because ice. But now that we've got our plasma beam, we can melt it. And it'll make a little glowy, as if it weren't obvious enough. So let's bomb jump in there. And this guy doesn't go bowling or anything fun like that. He just sort of lowers us down and creates a little passage. And then we'll go through here. And there is an artifact. It's the... which one is it? Artifact of Sun. So that's kind of fitting, because we had to like melt stuff to get to him. But 5 to go. We're moving fast. It's pretty great. Okay. So that's all we gotta do over here on this path. There's nothing for us in the Chapel of the Elders. Well, actually, I would assume there's probably a Sheegoth in there for us. I don't know, actually. Because that's where you fight the Sheegoth the first time. But I don't know if he's in there again. Speaking of Sheegoths, we're going to be seeing that in a second. We want to head to Ice Ruins East now, which is on the other side of this area. This shoreline, this very sort of quintessential area. I'm surprised the plasma beam is hitting those guys. The one downside to this weapon is that, as you can see here, it doesn't have a infinite range. It ends after a certain amount of time. So you can hit most stuff, like you can hit these walls over here and stuff, but if you're trying to hit that or something, it actually can't reach. So if you're trying to like snipe someone out real hardcore, maybe the plasma beam isn't the best weapon, but you don't need to do that too often in this game, and it's a beast at close combat, so I don't see why you'd really need to do that ever. Yeah. Speaking of Sheegoths, here's one. This was a mini-boss before, but nowadays it's a regular old enemy. And, like everything, pretty much, in the game, that's all it takes to fell one with the plasma beam. Pretty awesome, considering it took us quite a while to get rid of that before. So I think this is going to be the last room we cover in this episode. There's 2 missiles to get in here. One of them I always lose track of. So maybe we'll go for... Is it over here? There's one hidden, tucked away in this little cranny that I always forget where it is. Here we go. Yeah, if we go through here, there's a missile. Another sort of similar one to that one we just got in Shoreline. It's just in a little alcove that you can't break without breaking the ice. In this game, it's good to break the ice, not like that frickin'... What was that game that was like, don't break the ice? Do anyone remember that? It was like Milton Bradley or something. We used to play that a lot when we were kids. We also used to play... Anyone remember Hi-Ho Cherry-O? That was another big family favorite of mine when I was like really young. Because that game is super simple. All those like sort of older games are like that. Yeah, what am I talking about? Board games? This is a video game, not a board game. Alright, so there is another missile in here. I can't... Oh, wait, is this that one? Is it? Maybe I'm thinking of Ice Ruins West. I know there's one that, like... Hold on. I'm getting... Alright, it's here, right? Yeah, okay, this is that room. So there's spider ball tracks over here on this thing. And it just leads to a real quick and easy missile. Good stuff. Yeah, there's... The other room that's a lot like this is called, coincidentally, Ice Ruins West. This is Ice Ruins East. And I always get these two confused, because they're kind of similar, and I think they sort of have similar missile expansions, too. But yes, that's all we have to do over here, actually. I believe. I think so. Otherwise, we'll come back here in the next episode. Ain't no thing. There was more I wanted to talk about in this, especially regarding sort of the plasma beam and other stuff, but I think we'll cut it for today, because we've gotten a pretty good amount of stuff done. So, in the next video, we will continue our trek through Phendrana Drifts, continue to get more pickups, and yeah, we'll go deeper into the more spooky, scary areas of this level area. Whatever. What am I talking about? This needs to end. Okay. So yeah, well, next time, more pickup stuff here in Phendrana. Till then, guys, I've been SnagAttack8, and I will see you in the next video. Later!